Hello, I'm Lara Kulchersan and this is Newsfeed, your dose of what people are talking about online. Amazon's future might look a lot more robotic and a lot less human. The company plans to replace more than 500,000 jobs with robots by 2033. The New York Times has come out with a giant exposé based on leaked internal documents and employee interviews. It says Amazon's long-term plan is to hire hundreds of thousands fewer people over the next couple of years, and instead automate nearly 75% of its operations. In that way, the company thinks it can save about 30 cents on every single item it processes and delivers. That might not sound like much, but when you move billions of packages a year, it adds up fast to tens of billions in savings by 2030 if they keep pushing automation. Amazon rolled out its 1 millionth robot this year, and right now, roughly 3/4 of its global deliveries are already handled or assisted by machines.
So Amazon is famous for, in their warehouses, intentionally burning through their workforce, making the job so physically demanding that people just churn through because they don't want them elevating to senior level positions because then they have to pay them more. Rather than having to fire a bunch of people just through their normal churn, they will let people go and then they won't be replaced. Instead, they will increase automation through robots and devastating the blue-collar workforce in America. In these documents, they talked about how they'll need to build goodwill in local communities to avoid backlash over these job losses. They floated participating more in local food drives and the like. They also talked about how they don't want to use terms like robot or automation. They prefer to use terms like advanced technology and cobot, which apparently is supposed to imply some cooperation with humans. Amazon is one of the largest employers in the country. They have really reshaped not only the retail landscape, but the warehouse worker, the delivery worker landscape. They have lowered standards and conditions for all of those workers across the board. So if they go forward with this plan of mass automation, getting rid of a significant chunk of their workforce, you can bet that other companies, especially in the same space, but really across the board, are going to very quickly follow suit.
AI pioneers, including Nobel Physics winner Geoffrey Hinton, fellow AI godfather Yoshua Bengio, and Apple co-founder Steve Wozniak, are calling for a ban on superintelligence systems. In a statement signed by thousands, they say research should pause until we're sure ultra-smart AI can actually be built safely and under control. And until the public is okay with it too.
About 800 global leaders got together to say that we should ban superintelligence, which is basically when computers will surpass our intelligence as humans. And what's interesting about this is the people who are listed are literally the people who control and finance the creation of superintelligence. So it's interesting to me that they would gather and say, we should stop this. Then stop it. You've got a mix of left and right wing. It seems like a relatively diverse list. Seems like they're really working towards a global coalition, but it's easy to notice that there's actually not that much global participation in this petition. It's mostly Americans.
According to a new poll, 64% of Americans want an immediate pause on advanced AI and 75% want stronger regulation. The Future of Life Institute that organized this call to action also tried to do this back in 2003, calling for a ban on anything greater than GPT-4, but of course it was ignored as we were in GPT-5. So, should we hit pause before it's too late?
Watch out, Google. Artificial intelligence is coming for your crown. Ironic, isn't it? OpenAI has introduced Atlas, an AI-powered web browser built to take on Chrome's dominance. It's the company's latest move to build on its 800 million weekly ChatGPT users and to go even deeper into people's online lives by tracking how they browse.
It works like a normal browser, tabs, bookmarks, that kind of thing, but it's got ChatGPT baked in, and it does do some very cool stuff. Firstly, the sidebar. Here it can actually see the page that you're on and help you with that in context, whether it's explaining something, summarizing it, writing from it. When you open a new tab, instead of typing a URL or search, you can just ask ChatGPT a question about anything, but also about your tabs or your browsing history. It also gives you inline writing help. Now, the two coolest things, I think, are firstly browser memory. Atlas remembers what you've been doing online And you can literally say, show me the jeans I was looking at the weekend, and it will know where to go. That memory also syncs with your ChatGPT memory, so your browsing makes ChatGPT smarter, and your ChatGPT chats make the browser more personalized. Some people will think that's a bit of an invasion of privacy, a bit creepy. I personally think that is really, really useful. The second is agent mode. If you haven't tried it in ChatGPT yet, it's basically a virtual little computer that can go off and do real work for you. But now inside Atlas, it can actually do all those things there on the web, and you can see it working. It's basically a self-driving browser. It's very cool.
Tech giants, including Google, Meta, and Amazon, are among several investors backing the construction of the US President Donald Trump's $300 million White House ballroom. They have pledged to cover part of the costs, though it's still unclear how much each company will actually contribute. Demolition work began this week with footage showing that much of the historic building will be torn down. That's contrary to earlier assurances from Trump that the project wouldn't affect the East Wing. Trump has also said he will donate whatever was needed to complete the project. The plan has already sparked heated debate, with many questioning why the project is happening at all and whether it's really necessary.
Think of anything that better encapsulates the experience that we are having as a nation right now than the decision by Donald Trump to destroy a structure that has stood the test of time in order to make room for millionaires and billionaires to have a fancier place to eat dinner, while at the same time the government is shut down. People are not getting paid, while at the same time inflation is up. While at the same time, people are losing access to healthcare and watching their premiums skyrocket by hundreds of percentage points. While at the same time, groceries are through the roof. While at the same time, we have deeper political divisions, racial divisions that we have had in a very long time.
Meanwhile, President Trump is seeking a payout from the United States government, the very system that he leads. Reports say he is asking the Justice Department for about $230 million for what he calls politically motivated federal investigations into him. He says the money could go toward charity or even help fund the White House ballroom. It's already sparked a wave of reaction online, with critics questioning the ethics and potential conflicts of interest behind it.
With the country, it's interesting because I'm the one that makes a decision, right? And, that decision would have to go across my desk. And it's awfully strange to make a decision where I'm paying myself. In other words, did you ever have one of those cases where you have to decide how much you're paying yourself in damages? But I was damaged very greatly.
And the people who get to decide whether or not he gets that money, they're some of his closest allies and only now have their jobs because of it. But with that said, this all goes back to before Donald Trump became president again, when he reportedly submitted 2 complaints known as administrative claims. So those are technically not lawsuits, but if the Justice Department rejects one, the person who filed the claim will often then decide to bring a lawsuit. Though in this case, it seems unlikely to come to that. But as far as the details, Trump submitted the first claim in late 2023, seeking damages for a number of purported violations of his rights, including the FBI and special counsel investigation into Russian election meddling and alleged connections to his 2016 campaign. He then submitted the second complaint in the summer of 2024, accusing the FBI of violating his privacy by searching Mar-a-Lago for classified documents 2 years earlier. And he also accused the DOJ of engaging in what he called malicious prosecution by charging him with mishandling those records after he left office. But of course now the DOJ is Trump's DOJ, and according to the department's manual, settlements of claims of more than $4 million must be approved by the Deputy Attorney General or Associate Attorney General. And the current Deputy Attorney General is Todd Blanche, who, if you do not know, not only served as Trump's lead criminal defense lawyer, but also said at his confirmation hearing that his attorney-client relationship with Trump wasn't ending. Right? And then the person who would be considered the current Associate Attorney General, that is the chief of the department's civil division, Stanley Woodward Jr., and he represented Trump's co-defendant in the classified documents case, and he also represented a number of other Trump allies, including current FBI Director Kash Patel.
New footage has emerged on social media showing 2 thieves walking away from the Louvre, clutching more than $100 million worth of France's crown jewels. The slow-motion clip captures what's now being called the country's most spectacular heist in decades. As of Friday, the gang is still on the run, with more than 100 investigators working on the case. The museum reopened to the public on Wednesday. The 4-man gang struck just after the museum opened last Sunday, around 9:30 a.m. 2 of them smashed through an unsecured window, used angle grinders to pry open the display cases, and made off with 8 priceless pieces. French media say the whole thing took less than 7 minutes.
The robbery took place in the Apollo Gallery. 4 masked assailants, one of which we do know for certain was dressed up as a construction worker, used a basket lift to get up into the Apollo Gallery windows. They accessed this via the Seine side of the Louvre. The 4 men entered the Apollo Gallery. They threatened security guards in the room with angle grinders before turning those angle grinders onto the jewelry casings. The theft lasted a total of 4 minutes, during which time the assailants took the reliquary brooch, the sapphire set, Napoleon's wedding set, which was a gift to his second wife, Marie-Louise, Empress Eugenie's pearl and diamond tiara, Empress Eugenie's decorative bow, and Empress Eugenie's crown. The robbers left using the same window and the same basket lift, which they then attempted to burn before escaping on motorbikes, but not before dropping and damaging Empress Eugenie's crown along the way. It has been retrieved by the authorities and is back at the Louvre.
Meanwhile, the internet continues to do what it does best, flooding social media with hilarious memes.
What is this? Mission Impossible? Why didn't anyone not notice? We are French, we could not be bothered.
Guys go to the Louvre today. Oh yeah, honestly we can't even get into it. It was honestly crazy there. Like there was so much going on. We're drained.
I've got this crazy idea for a novel.
De nouvelles images des caméras de surveillance montrent Emmanuel Macron quittant le Louvre.
Sometimes it really feels like luxury brands are just messing with us. The latest example is Prada's safety pin. Priced ridiculously at over $700, this so-called accessory features just a couple of crochet stitches wrapped around the pin. So is this Prada or parody? Or maybe just a little rage bait?
It's a safety pin brooch for $775. I will once again ask rich people, what is it that you're doing with your money? Because if you can't think of anything, I assure you, the rest of us can. I don't know whether to laugh or cry.
12 single crochets and something I would use to hold the rip in my pants together. That is that. My first car was less than that. You can make this yourself. Do you know what I did? I went to my craft room, I got a pin, I got some sparkly yarn, and I got a bougie stitch marker, and I literally made myself, well, it's 14 single crochets, so haha, Prada, I got more in. But who's buying this?
And that's our show. Find our latest stuff on YouTube and do subscribe to our channel. See you soon.